Well, hey there, it's Catherine from Catherine Pooler Designs. My very first collection with Sizzix is now out, and this video we're going to look at the jungle themed products from the Vacay Mode collection. Let's see, the Going Bananas stamp set, coordinating framelits, absolutely adorable. We have the stamp and die cut monkey, as well as the die cut monkey that you can layer up, as well as the Stay Wild stamp set and thinlits. First, we're going to look at creating the monkeys, and then we're going to look at 3 different show-stopping backgrounds that you can make with the products in this collection, from the 3D embossing folder to the stencil to using the stamp and spin tool. So let's get to it. So let's get into the stamping. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is show you how to use your stencil and stamp tool to stamp these monkey images on cardstock. This is watercolor cardstock. I'm using my Midnight ink pad by Catherine Pooler Designs. This is an archival ink and it's waterproof. So with the stencil and stamp tool, I can stamp multiple times. Sometimes you need to do that with watercolor cardstock because it usually has a bumpy texture. You need to stamp it a couple times to get a clear, clean impression. If I want to color these monkeys in with Catherine Pooler ink pads, it's really easy to do, and there's a couple different methods that you can use to achieve a great colored look. So I have my sandcastle and icing on the cake ink pads. I just take those and press them onto a clean acrylic block or any clean slick surface. This is going to give me a palette that I can then dip my blender pen into. So this is basically a clear marker. I'm just picking up that color and I'm coloring in my monkey. When I want to change colors with this blender pen, I just scribble it off on scratch paper and then I can go into my next color. You can also use a water brush or a paintbrush. When using 2 different shades of neutral ink or brown ink, you can get shading in there and create a beautiful look. Then just die cut your monkeys and they're ready to adorn your projects. You can also color these in with Copic markers. So I'm using Catherine Pooler white cardstock. I stamped with Memento ink, and then I'm using my Copic markers or any alcohol markers that you have at home will work perfectly. And then we're just gonna color those in, and again, die cut, and they are ready to go for cards, scrapbook pages. Maybe you're making a bunting for a party. You can make cupcake toppers. You can decorate gift bags. So many fun projects you can make with these images. Once you're done coloring, you can take your thinlit, line it up, use a little bit of maker's tape to hold it in place, run it through your Big Shot, and how cute are these monkeys? Next up, let's make a die cut monkey using the thinlits. So I really like to make my own colored cardstock. Then I know when I'm stamping or coloring with Catherine Pooler inks, and then I make my own colored cardstock, the color coordination is going to be perfect. You can use colored cardstock that you already have in your craft room, or if you want to do the direct to paper method, you can see how easy it is. Just swipe your ink pad across your cardstock and bam, you have colored cardstock. Other color combinations for the monkeys, I really like Sandcastle and Macchiato, Sandcastle and Over Coffee. If you want to go really dark with one of the neutral colors, you can also use Icing on the Cake. That's a great option as well. So make your colored cardstock, run your pieces through the Big Shot, and then glue all your little pieces together, and you have an absolutely adorable monkey that's ready to party. It's gonna be wild. So which is your favorite? Are you loving the stamp and color in monkeys? Are you loving the die cut monkey? No matter which one is your favorite, there are lots of ways to create fun backgrounds. And the first thing we're gonna look at is the embossing folder. The Jungle Textures 3D embossing folder is a huge showstopper. These embossing folders make such a deep impression into your cardstock, and it is such a stunner. You're gonna wow your friends and family. Wait until you see this. We're gonna do a really fun technique with this. It's so great for 3D embossing folders. You're going to start out using the direct to paper technique with your ink pad. This is Melon Ice by Catherine Puller Designs. It's a really fun and unique color. It's very vibrant, very highly saturated. And with the foam ink pads, the ink releases so easily from the pad. So when you just a gentle swipe over your cardstock, look at that. That ink transfers right out of the ink pad, coloring your cardstock, and just like that, you have matching cardstock for any of your projects. So you stamp with the ink, direct to paper with the ink to make matching cardstock, and you've got a polished project. So with the 3D embossing folder, you're going to remove the adapter and one of your clear plates and then run it through with just the base and the clear plate. This gives you the perfect amount of pressure, and what? Look at that. If you have any streaking, just go really gentle, just a really light touch. Just run that pad over your cardstock a few times. If you have some streaking, a lot of times when I do this, it doesn't matter because I'm going to do a technique over it, but you also find as it dries, it will even out, the color will even out, so no worries about that. Let's look at some non-traditional options. It is a jungle themed background, but you don't have to do it in green. I've played so much with this technique and I've done a whole rainbow of backgrounds. This one here I did a little differently, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute, but just feast your eyes on this gorgeous rainbow. I just love it. Which one is your favorite? All right, let's try another one. So I'm grabbing Buttercream, which is one of the Catherine Puller Designs neutral ink colors. It's a light kind of cream color, and it's gorgeous. It goes with so many amazing projects. I'm gonna run this through the Big Shot and add all of that fantastic texture to this technique piece. You could leave it as is and add a layer over the top, add a sentiment, add some leaves and foliage and maybe some flowers, add a monkey on there. Or maybe you want to add some more interest and make that design pop a little more. I thought it would be really fun to grab a red orange. So this is Do-Si-Do, which is our lightest coral color. And I'm using a large ink blending brush. I'm concentrating mostly around the edges here and just ink blending that beautiful coral color over the top of the buttercream ink. That texture is being picked up and it just looks beautiful. I wanted to add some more depth and interest to this background, so I grabbed my Tiara ink pad, basically sticking around the edges of this technique piece and mixing that tiara with the coral. It's giving it an orange look, and I think it's just beautiful. And I wanted to go a little darker even more, so I grabbed Catching Rays, and I really love the final result here. And here is a card that I finished just with an "Oh Happy Day" sentiment on a simple circle die cut. I added a few leaves and the monkey and the coconut. Don't forget that cute little banana in the monkey's hand, and it's just so cute. This card makes me smile. The next card uses a simple tag die, thanks a bunch, a little flower, the monkey, and of course a banana. And then here's one without a monkey, so just use a couple flowers and some foliage and you have a great card. Get ready to be wowed because the stencil is up next. The It's a Jungle Out There stencil is a 4-layer stencil, and when used with the stencil and stamp tool, you can get gorgeous results like this. We're going to start out by removing this piece. This is how the stamp and stencil tool comes. We're going to add this stencil attachment. Each stencil is numbered up here, and this is number 1. The design also has a rectangle around it. That is a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch rectangle, which is card front size. My layer here is cut just a bit smaller than that. It's about 4 by 5 1/4. And you may want to do a larger piece of cardstock so that you don't have to worry about lining it up within that rectangle. But either way works. A bigger piece, a smaller piece, choice is yours. That sticky tacky grid is going to hold that piece of paper in place so that when you do your ink blending, it won't move. The first color we're going to use is Lime Ricky. This is a green yellow. It's a mid-tone shade. I'm using a large ink blending brush and just doing a light layer of ink over the top at first. Catherine Puller inks are water-based dye inks, and they are layerable. So when you go in with a light hand and a little bit of ink, you can get a light, basically a light shade of Lime Ricky. And as you add more and more ink, you can really build that color up and get a darker shade of Lime Ricky. So that is a really gorgeous technique to use. Like you can see here, I'm really building up just parts of the leaves and adding really great shading. Are you ready for the reveal? Hold your breath. Ta-ta-ta! Absolutely gorgeous. I love the shading on these leaves. So for the next layer, there's quite a few florals in there. We're going to use Pucker Up, which is one of the Catherine Puller Designs Red Violets. It's a gorgeous color. Again, super vibrant, very highly saturated. It is a va-va-voom color. And I'm going to do the same thing where I'm layering on color, building it up, blending, adding some shading. Check out this reveal. I never get tired of this. Number 3 is more leaves. What if we do something borrowed? Do some blue ones in here. Also, it has some flowers. So let me give you a tip. If you want to, maybe you don't want these leaves and this flower to be the same color, you can use smaller ink blending brushes like this and go in and just ink the pieces of the design that you want. Let's do that. And again, you can do darker shading, lighter shading. Here's another leaf. Blue leaves, I love it. Oh yeah, that color is so vibrant. So these ink colors that I'm using are part of the Catherine Puller Designs Party Collection. They are vibrant, highly saturated ink colors. They were all custom designed to go together with a coordinating saturation level so that when you choose any of the inks from the party line to work together on a project, you know it's going to look great. Super easy to pick your colors. We also have the Spa line, which are muted, kind of grayed down colors, and those also were created to go together. Oh yeah, that is looking beautiful. You could even grab another color. Let's try a little bit of Lime Ricky. Let's do chiffon. You want to be careful because I'm doing a lighter color now. I don't want to get it into the blue because then I will pick up that blue with my brush and then add it to my ink pad. So probably should have done my chiffon first. I am picking just a little bit of it up. If you have that issue, just kind of wipe your brush off on a paper towel before going into your pad, and that will help remove some of that darker color. How about a little do-si-do in the center? Oh, that was a little dark. All right, let's see how that looks. Oh, it is building up beautifully. We have one more layer. Let's do Catching Rays in the center of the yellow flowers, which is a darker yellow-orange. For the center of the Pucker Up flowers, let's do Flirty Fuchsia, which is a darker red violet than the Pucker Up. And then we have one more color for these leaves. What if we go a little crazy here and just do Flirty Fuchsia? I'm not going to ink up my brush or ink my brush up again yet. I want to do a light Flirty Fuchsia, so let's see how that looks. Oh, that's beautiful. I love it. If you wanted to go in and add more color in any places, if you haven't moved your paper, if you haven't picked this piece up yet, you can go back and grab one of your other layers. It is going to fit right down in the exact same spot it was before. And then my sticky mat just held that piece in place the whole time I was working. It didn't move at all. and my project turned out beautifully. As you use this, it's tacky, a little sticky. So as you use it, it is going to lose its tack, and then you're just going to peel it off and replace it. So these come with replacement pads, which is really nice. You can use one of these layers, just add a sentiment right across. How about a angled sentiment strip? This is a piece of colored cardstock that I did with the Something Borrowed ink pad, which perfectly matches the sentiment. Then you can use it as a layer at the top. I love how Lisa Harrell stamped the vine here and then cut it out. She did that just with a pair of scissors, so fussy cutting. And then add a monkey. Can't forget his bananas. I'm bananas for you. And then a small strip on the side. The vine from the monkey dies was used as a stem for the flower. And then on a slimline card, so a piece at the top and bottom with a sentiment in the middle and a couple monkeys. So cute. So that is the It's a Jungle Out There stencil. Don't miss out on the new Stampin' Spin tool. So this is a 2 award-winning tool, and it's going to make the most adorable wreaths from these leaves. You're going to love it. So the stencil and stamp tool, which is great for stenciling and also for stamping, because this can be used as a stamping platform. It doesn't have edges on it, so you can actually take your cardstock, stamp it here, stamp it here, stamp it here, stamp it here off the edge. Fantastic. This removes, and then it has a new accessory. The Stampin' Spin tool is brand spanking new, and it has already won 2 awards, you guys. In Germany at the Creative World Show and in New Orleans at the Creativation Show. It won Best New Product. It works perfectly with our new launch. The leaves in this set were created so that you can use it with this tool. So the Stay Wild stamp set, we're gonna start with this Monstera leaf. Gonna add our piece of cardstock here in the center. So I'm gonna take my stamp and add it to one of the sections. The further out you go, the wider your wreath or your circle is gonna be. So you can achieve a lot of different looks with this. We're gonna do it, let's go a little closer in. We'll start with Melon Ice. We're gonna give that an ink and a stamp. Then turn, this kind of locks into place, and you're going to give an ink and a stamp. Ta-da! Ink, stamp, spin. I always like to stamp and then spin so I know I don't forget which direction I was going, because sometimes I forget and I go the wrong direction. So let's keep going in the clockwise direction. That's also a good rule of thumb. Maybe you're a clockwise person or maybe you're a counterclockwise person. But if you go the same way every time, you won't make a mistake. Ta-da! There's the beginning of our wreath. You can leave it as is, or you can continue building. Here are 2 wreaths that I made. One further out, one closer together. This one with the tip pointing in, this one with the tip of the leaf pointing out. This one has the tip pointing in, and then they're pretty close together, so then it builds a medallion look. Here's another one I did with this tropical foliage piece. And then, oh my goodness, how about a rainbow? Yes, please. We're going to continue building. So I can build my design out like this, or I can keep going in this way, making a tighter wreath. Let's do that. Okay, so the next one we're gonna do Lime Ricky. So I've made this pattern before with the same stamps and the same colors. And I like to say this is like a snowflake. No 2 are gonna look the same because it just depends on where you put your stamps, the placement, the direction, the colors you use. You're gonna get so many fun, unique looks. So quick and easy to build this design. And then if you just want to add a sentiment and a monkey right on top, you have your finished card. You can also just add a sentiment, get a card that looks like that. And then I just wanted to share a few other designs that I created. For this one, I just kept moving my stamp out. I added in some yellow. And this one, I had the stamps in closer to the center. I would like to add a sentiment, so I'm going to take the Stamp and Spin accessory off, add this piece back on. My sentiment will go, let's add it right there, so we'll pick that up. We're gonna use icing on the cake for the sentiment. Perfect. I'm also going to add some ink splatter. So I'm going to take my ink pad, dab it right onto an acrylic block, add a little water, load up that paintbrush, and give a few flicks. I want my project to coordinate perfectly, so a little direct to paper to make icing on the cake cardstock. We'll add the stamped layer to the colored layer. I'm adding some foam tape to the back, add it to my card front, add a little monkey on, and just like that, I have an adorable card that is gonna brighten anyone's day. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I have had so much fun creating it, and I can't wait to see what you guys are thinking. What are your favorite products? What are you most excited about? And what is the first thing you're gonna do when you get these goodies in your hands? Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Can't wait to see you again soon. Have a great day.